Okay, we're going to discuss Edgar Cayce predictions. I've gone over them before. I am going to go into more detail today. And we're going to place them in a timeline because no, he never did give exact years, but he gave time periods. And some of these things are happening right now. I'm going to discuss why I think those predictions are happening now, what to expect, and then I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about it. I think you're going to be really surprised at some of these things. And how accurate was Edgar Cayce? I'm going to give you those statistics. This is really interesting. A lot of fun. But I'm going to remind you of one thing, and that is everything is interchangeable. What are we doing right now that is already coming to pass? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. My whole platform is Break Through Fear. Why? Everything that happens on our planet of a negative nature is due to fear. We're protecting ourselves. We think we're individuals. I think I'm a human. I want stuff. I'm a consumer. I'm not getting this. I'm getting this that I don't want. And that's fear-based because we believe in endings. Now, Edgar Cayce had an 86% success rate in predictions. I don't think that's actually true, to be honest with you. I think there was a lot of wording that has been manipulated, especially with Nostradamus. We could make anything fit if we wanted to, and the interpretations are all over the board, but I think Edgar Cayce's a little bit more stable with his predictions. We're going to talk about things today like what's going to happen, life as we know it. We're going to talk about the records, the 3 records that will be discovered, which if you've been following any of this, records that are going to reveal things about us that are going to shock us, most likely in the paw of the Sphinx. We can't know for sure, but there's something coming up in 2026 that is in alignment with. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. We're going to talk about the second coming of Christ. What is it? I do believe we're aligned for that now. Now, I did say something in a video back. I want to correct this. Thank you to one of my subscribers. No one knows the date and the time. And I said, not even the Father himself. Well, it's actually except for the Father. Why? Because the Father is all things. The Father is source of all things, and the Father determines that. And you and I are part of that. We're actually creators, so we actually facilitate that. So we are not separate human beings, and then Christ comes on some bizarre decision. We're actually all integrated into this whole plan. Now, first of all, I hope you'll subscribe. And then in my description, I have all kinds of free stuff. I actually have new training in landria.com, free inspiration, that is teaching you how to communicate with the all-intelligent quantum field, that space, not as a separate entity, but actually communicating with it as the one energy field that you are. It's a brand spanking new free email list, and it includes meditation in each one of those. Every few days you'll get them. So if you want to sign up for that, entrepreneurs, you want to change the planet, digitalexplorers.net, that's down there. That's free webinars. Come on over and check it out. We're making a difference on this planet. Why? Why are we doing all this? If we're going to go to hell in a handbasket, we aren't. So I'm going to go over the prophecies that he alluded to. Now, Edgar Cayce, and I said this in a video and somebody said, Edgar Cayce didn't give a date, but he did talk about someone that was a man that was going to come into power that would bring great upheaval and change. Now, here's what I think about the word upheaval. If you are in a state of perpetual negative motion, what do you want to do? Upheaval isn't necessarily a bad thing. Now, it could be, but it definitely is drastic change, which he predicted. At the same time that this person was going to create global change. I don't think he used the word chaos, but I'll because sometimes people use chaos and it's not exactly what he said. But he did predict that this person was going to shake up the planet. He never said that we would have a major final conflict, okay? He never said that, which I believe is not going to happen. At the same time that this person was going to come into power and create some drastic upheaval globally, we would go into a highly spiritual transition. And that would lead to the second coming of Christ. He also refers to the second coming as Christ as not an actual person coming in, but more a movement and a power that takes us into that high spiritual state of being that Christ was in. Jesus was the person. Christ was the all-knowing, creative, beautiful teacher, right? Now, not to rain on your religious parade, but sometimes we don't know everything in the churches, and if we all had the answers, why doesn't everybody have one answer? There's a lot of stuff that goes on with that, so try and open up your mind to this. Now, the polar shift, the poles, did you know they shift, and I'll give you the exact numbers here, over 300,000, every 300,000 years they shift. It's not as big a deal as everybody makes it out. It can cause confusion with animals, flights. We are seeing that now, right? A lot of planes going down. I'm not getting on a plane. Some other things that will happen that will disrupt, just like when we have daylight savings time and we go off an hour, it screws up the animals, right? Well, that's what it would do. Now, we haven't had a polar shift for over 700,000 years. What does that mean? We missed a polar shift? So it's most likely going to happen, and it has been detected that something is shifting right now. It doesn't mean the end of the planet. It doesn't mean the end of us. It could screw around with the electromagnetic fields. We could have some issues with our, internet and that, but big whoop. We've got all kinds of other things that we're developing right now for a new world that's going to not rely on all of that stuff. He did say that we would have machines that would not rely on fuel anymore. They'd be self-generating. Whether he meant a vehicle like an automobile or not, he wasn't too specific about that, but we're already going into that. We already have that technology, which is pretty darn cool. We'd live longer lives. That's been happening, but I think we're going to go into a world where we're going to have cures that are going to go beyond the big, let's just say, businesses that like us to not be so well. I think we're going to go into and are already going into self-healing, curing ourselves instead of putting a patch on stuff that actually causes other problems. We're already going into that because we know the other ways haven't been good for us. Again, things are being shook up in a good way. I believe that it gives us choice and opportunity. A self-fueling machine. Persian Gulf conflict, what's new? Okay? We will have a new root race. I'm not sure what that means, but I think it's in connection to what's going to be revealed in 2026 that's already coming into the forefront, that there are other races that we have been a part of and are a part of and continue to be a part of on this planet, that we're completely mixed races. Of course we are, or we'd all look alike, we'd have the same skin color. It is not about local sun. It's the sun. Well, then how come some places with sun don't have super dark skin, all right? So there are other factors, there are other things that go on here, and I believe that we've been infiltrated by other beings from other planets. We are a big cosmos here. The 3 halls of records are going to be discovered. Now, I think that's coming because we've had the disruptor who's gone into office, who's shaking up the globe boy is he. He's already talking to other countries. He is pissing off some countries. He's we have mixed messages here, but he is absolutely, in my opinion, that person that Edgar Cayce predicted was going to cause great global upheaval and the spiritual transition of the planet, a big movement, and that is absolutely happening right now. If you're not a part of that, then you're choosing to be in the old world. The new earth absolutely is kicking in. The 3 halls of records, they will be discovered, and they're going to reveal amazing, crazy things. It's going to change our world. Now, if you've heard me talk about Chris Bledsoe, if you don't know who he is, look him up. It's pretty convincing that this guy was abducted 18 years ago. It ruined his life, and nobody can debunk this guy. And he has made predictions through these beings that come and visit him. He doesn't channel. He sees orbs. He calls in UAPs. He works with people in NASA and other really high levels that realize this guy's the real deal. Well, he has had contact with what he calls, the lady in white, that she comes usually around Easter time and gives him some kind of information. And she said when the Red Star Regulus aligns with the Sphinx at dawn, a new era of knowledge will kick in. Now that's Egypt, right? The Sphinx. Well, Red Star Regulus, he didn't even know what that was. He looked it up, and that is actually exactly when it's going to align, is 2026. Most likely around April. We don't have the specific date. Well, this is an alignment with the 3 halls of records will be discovered. I believe that's what's going to happen. I believe there will be discoveries that are going to reveal a knowledge that's going to blow people away and shake up everything we thought we were and take us to the next level of excitement and joy that we are all powerful, amazing beings that have been basically lied to and suppressed for so many years, forever, right? So the second coming is going to be a movement. Now, he did say something that was really interesting, that I think it's really interesting because it's happening now, that Los Angeles and San Francisco will be destroyed before New York. Now, we know that he's talked about floods. I don't believe that is necessarily going to be an overnight thing. I believe it's slowly happening now. We know down in Florida, as the earth changes and things warm up and everything rises and comes in, the hurricanes are more powerful. We've got glaciers melting. Of course, the inevitable thing that's going to happen is that things go underwater. Now, in history, has proven that islands have disappeared and appeared. Whole continents have split up. That's just the earth, transitioning. She has, stuff changes. So that definitely is going to happen. But Los Angeles and San Francisco are supposedly going to, end. We already saw what happened to the Los Angeles area. San Francisco, it could be anything. He wasn't specific about that. Those two before New York. New York, of course, is on a waterway, a massive waterway, and these coastlines of all countries, including Europe's supposed to go underwater. Japan's supposedly going to go underwater. Florida. But here's what I want you guys to remember. There will be some cataclysmic events that are very quick, and there's going to be all over the globe, and it's going to be sporadic and random. However, some of the bigger things, you will have more than enough time to make other plans if you need to leave. When we know a hurricane's coming here, we have a lot of advance notice, and we can get out of Dodge, which is what I did. We know where it's coming, and we can get far enough away in case it changes directions. But you cannot live your life in fear. So I want you to know something, and that is we have some big things happening in the next 2 years. 2025, this is our year of spiritual transition that's accelerating. I feel it. A lot of people are feeling a lot of negativity coming in. I've had some very disturbing dreams, but they're not threatening. They're just not super happy. But every single one of my dreams, I was taking over positions of empowerment, and other people were stepping down. Now, the empowerment that I'm taking over, territories, I had a crown that I was putting on. I was taking over territory, and it was not a happy situation. It wasn't something I really wanted to take over. What I think this message is, and I think this is the message for you, is that you have a huge opportunity to step up and put on the crown regardless of what's happening out there. You have a voice. What you do counts. Everything you do matters. And so don't think that you are not making an impact on this planet. This is when you make the biggest impact. And every one of you, this is in my email list, I'm helping you to get past these limiting thoughts. Every single one of you that has doubts, I want you to remember right now, get excited. You have huge opportunities right now. Everyone does. So a lot of times we sit here and we say, this is how things are. I fear the future. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to have money or health or a job or whatever else is. Every single one of your situations that challenge you is a huge opportunity. I did a video about everyone's getting gifts now. Things that may be very uncomfortable are going to push you to make decisions to change your life in a positive way. It could be the job that you really loved that you're losing. I have a friend going through this right now, and I said, you know what? Think about it. Is that really where you wanted to be? Are you really being treated well? There could be something. Now, it's a fearful situation because until you know you have that and better situation, you're going to go into anxiety, and that is not faith. So we've got to go into faith and know that it does not matter what's happening now, because the power of the universe, the creator, always offers you this or better, always offers opportunities for evolution. The whole game is about evolving. The whole game is about going to the next level. So it's never about taking you down and making your life miserable. It's always about, what can I do with this to excel, to go to that beautiful space where everything makes sense. No matter what your situation, you could be, you could have a terminal illness, which, by the way, everything can be turned around. But if you decide you have a terminal illness and you're going to bug out, no matter what the situation, what are you going to do with that situation? Because when you go into high frequency, you might actually cure yourself or be here for a very long time and turn the situation. But if you live in fear, you are not changing the future that has been dictated here, that doesn't have to be anything negative. Now, he says that life as we know it will completely change, but it is not the end of mankind or womankind. It's not the end of humans. He said everything that we know about life here is going to change. All right, does that scare you? I think it's amazing, because I'm really looking at this plan and going, what the heck? Why are we doing all of this? This is insanity. This has to change. And if that future means that humanity is going to go to the next level, a highly spiritual one, I want to choose it. You get to choose it. So no matter who comes in to office or who's in what position and dictates these things, you don't have to participate, especially here and here. Go into that space, because you absolutely are the power that is creating. It is not happening without you. You are fueling it. So if you're in fear, you're fueling that, and that's what you see, and you will experience that. All right? There's another root human. There's a root race that's going to show up. A root race. I think it's already happening. I think you see these kids that are autistic that can read minds. This is real stuff. We're finding out that we have abilities. So many people have not talked about their abilities, because that power is a threat to people who want to control us. Don't talk about it. And then we cover up for those people who are doing some really negative things, because God forbid you speak up, you get taken out. That's ending. That's ending. I see huge transitions, and my dreams are consistent. I'm always in a position of power, and I'm not afraid. I'm always feeling that I'm in control and that I am providing something better, despite what's going on, and it's not good. I took over this huge mansion last night, and there were 3 Christmas trees that were up, and I went, well, Christmas is coming. Let's put them all on and let's celebrate. Let's get this thing all lit up again. This huge old mansion that was really like, imagine a palace that hadn't been touched in ages, and things were, you know, falling apart and deteriorating, but there were still magnificent things there. All right? That's what I stepped into, and it was mine. And I said, let's light this thing up. Let's put them on. Let's celebrate this. Even though I saw that it had not been taken care of, it deteriorated. That is the consistent premonitions that I'm having. I put on the crown, and I looked around the kingdom, and it was decimated. The people that were in power, I was helping them pack up their stuff. I wanted to make the transition as nice for them. We were not arguing. There was nothing negative about it. But they were very sad, and they were stepping away. They were done. That life as we knew it was done, and a lot of damage had been done. But I was putting on the crown knowing that this is a new era. This is what I'm taking over, but I'm taking over. That's a huge message. And this, I have other dreams that are similar to that. Stepping into the crown, the palace, and no matter what has been done with it, how it's been abused or not, just not celebrated, we're going to celebrate it now. We're going to restore it. We're going to restore the kingdom. We're going to restore the crown. We're going to take this to a new earth. We're going to make big decisions about what we're doing, how we're doing it, our bodies. We can eliminate illnesses altogether. We can eliminate any abuse to animals, children. It's all going to end, but we have to step up and put on the crown. Are you ready to do that? So I'm very excited about these predictions. I think many of them are happening right now, and I don't think they're bad things. Again, he didn't give years, but there's indications that these events are in play. All right, so we're going to talk more about this, and I'm going to share more of my premonitions as I get them, because they're very active right now. They haven't been for a few years. I was real clear just before COVID. I shared stuff with you. I had a few other things that happened. I'm getting very strong feelings, by the way, that there's great upheaval happening. I'm feeling it. It's not a nice feeling, but I have to remind myself that I can get excited, because that means we're going into something new, and we cannot stay where we were. It's not working. It's not working. So don't be afraid to let go of that world. This or better awaits you. The source is unconditional love, and all it is, sitting there, the jewels are yours. Everything else is the story, the doubt, the lack of faith. Everything else, we're choosing. We're choosing those realities, and this kingdom can be restored. Say yes. Say yes. But you have to go up to that penthouse. You have to go up the stairs. There's learning and experiences and a journey, and it's amazing. It's like when you get there, it's like, yes, I did it. But without that journey, right? What's this all for? There's some great glory in those achievements. Don't miss out on that, and don't go into fear if you want to truly experience humanity the way it was meant to be. And that means sometimes we have to experience sadness and loss and look at the world and know that it's insane. Why am I here? A very special reason, my friend. Don't miss out on that. All right, we're going to talk more. I've got some great stuff coming for you. Digital Explorers, entrepreneurs, come on here. DigitalExplorers.net is, we're creating planet conscious businesses. If you're an entrepreneur and you just want to do something, you may not even know what it is. The really cool part is the first half of the training is helping you find that. What do you really love? Maybe you've been squashed your whole life and told not, you can't be a painter or a singer or a dancer or whatever it is. And I say yes. Yes, you can. Let's make it happen. And then we create the revenue streams. We turn it into a business so that you can take it out there and share it with the world and be financially rewarded, until which time the financial systems go away. That'll be another thing we'll deal with up the road. But you should flourish. Wealth for you is good, because I know that you're going to use it to share with the world, to embellish your own life and enjoy this beautiful world, this material world. And that when you're in joy and gratitude and you share it with others, everything changes. This world exists right now for you. You just have to say yes. Reach into the tattered robe pockets. They're loaded with jewels, my friend. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.